Hello, welcome to our YouTube channel, CB and Ham Radio Depot. Today we're going to make a video on a Yaesu FT-107M. And as you can see, this radio is extra clean. I mean, it's got no marks on it. I do have the handle off of it right now because here in a minute we're going to look inside and talk a little bit about some stuff that's in there that is kind of important to know. So anyway, the 107 was, I believe, I read that it was the first attempt at Yaesu building a big box base station type radio that was solid state. This radio is solid state, and been playing with it for the last couple of days, and works really well. It's got standard filters in it. It does have the memory unit installed, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But right now, let's look at the front panel. It's got the stock hand mic with it. Up here on the top left, you got the box gain and the forward set for your meter. It's got mic gain, and drive is your the output power. Down here you have your noise blanker control, your speech processor, of course, power switch and phone jack. This does have a width. It is not IF width. This one, I believe I read where it does kind of overlap on the two IF filters that is in it, and it kind of moves back and forth between the two, which is a little different than what we see today in the newer radios with IF shift. Mode switch, your APF and notch. This is audio. It is not IF, and the switch is right here to turn it off and on. You have your AF gain, your RF gain. Up here you have your meter control, VCC, IC, ALC, compression, forward, and reference. Over here on the right, you turn your processor on here. You can attenuate here. Of course, you turn your APF on, notch on. Your AGC, slow and fast and off. Your noise blanker control, you turn it on here and adjust it over here on the left. It also has a calibrator. This is, by the way, a true frequency counter. It is not a readout, so you can mark the dial with that right there. Okay, on the memory part of it, this is where it's a little bit different than some. What it can be used, since it only has one VFO, you can use the memories to do splits, different things. Here you have your main VFO, which does light the internal light up here. You have external here if you're using the external VFO, which we don't have one plugged in. Memory over here, receive and transmit, and then on your external you have receive and transmit. Now on the memory, it's not as hard as it looks. So if you want this frequency in number 7, which it has 12 by the way, you just push M, memory. And then if you want to go to 8 and you want to go to another frequency, say that one. You hit it again. So it's stored. So you go back to 7. Oh, you got to turn to memory. You go back to 7, which was the first one. And then the second one, number 8, which was the second one. You also have a couple of ways to, you can adjust your, push this button here, and you can slide your memory frequencies one way or the other, which is kind of a neat feature. Of course, your clarifier is down here. It has your receive, your transmit, so you can move your clarifier. You can also fine tune your clarifier. And of course, this is the band switch. Hang on just a second and I'll take the top off. Okay, we've got the top removed from this unit. And by the way, these radios came from Yaesu DC. This one does have the internal power supply added. So this is an AC unit, which is kind of nice. You have your boards up here. These are all modular boards. They plug in and remove, much like a lot of the Yaesus were of the era. You have your AF board. You have your IF board, your filter board, and your local. This unit, like I said, has just the 2 basic filters here. And this filter here is one of the filters that crosses here for your IF and or your shift and some of the features that it does. This is the memory unit, which it is installed. This was an option. Right here is the battery backup for the memory unit. Basically, all it does is helps the radio remember the frequencies that's stored in the memories. A lot of people have let these batteries stay in here too long, and they corrode and leak, and they get all over everything. They get down here on the frequency counter board right here below, and has caused a lot of issues. So if you're in the market for one of these radios, whether you buy it from somebody or eBay or wherever you get it, you definitely want to be sure about this right here, because it can be a problem. This one here appears that it's never had batteries installed. So it's kind of a user's choice as to whether they want to do that. If you put batteries in it, you need to service them periodically and make sure that it doesn't have any leaks and any corrosion that has occurred inside the radio. This is your RF unit here. Anyway, I just wanted to get the top off the radio and show you all this, because this is one of the biggest problems with this radio, the particular type of batteries that they used. Okay, let me turn it around. And okay, this is the back side of this radio. From left to right, the connections, of course, your antenna over here on the left, your ground right here. We have AF out and push to talk. The push to talk is, of course, if you want to use a foot switch or anything of this nature to key the radio. The AF out is an audio output jack, which is used for recording purposes. The RF out is for the FTV FT-107R accessory to plug into it. And you have IF2, which is for the YO901, which is the scope. It's right there. Of course, AGC2 is also another connection for the FTV-107. Your external VFO is one of the DIN plugs right here. Receive antenna for an external receiver. It switches back to the receive antenna when you unkey the radio, and it goes back to receive mode. It has one for patch right here, for a phone patch. IF out 1. This jack is for the YO901 scope. The FSK jacks are for the keyboard for your FSK terminal. AGC1, this is for an amplifier. If you wish to hook an amplifier to this unit, there's where you hook it up. 8 volt, that's a DC line for the FT-107 antenna tuner. If you happen to have an outboard antenna tuner. BU backup, this is for the connection to the 3 volt power for the 107M memory circuits when the transceiver is turned off. And you have external speaker, it's right here. Key jack is right there. It also has delay, and this varies the receiver recovery time for your Vox. This was the DC power connection, which of course now has been switched over to AC, and it now is an AC unit. And of course, your fuse. Okay, let's turn it back around and we'll give it a little output test. Okay, we got it on 20 meters. It's on the dummy load, upper sideband. Hello. Does well past 100 watts, so the output is really nice on this radio. I've checked it in all modes, and it works really well on the output side. Anyway, these are a great little radio. You don't see these very often. They were started manufacturing them in the early 80s. Made them a short time. And there was 2 versions. One that had the WARC bands, 30, 17, and 12. This one does not. It is one of the earlier models. They also had one that was a dark gray instead of this color here. So if you happen to see a gray one, it's still a 107. Same radio, just a different look. So anyway, I'm glad you all joined us today to do this video. And come to our website. You'll see this radio and some others on there, and maybe something that you think you need. We try to add stuff pretty often. So anyway, thank you very much.